Welcome back to my Central Virginia gardens, and we're going to talk today about my impromptu garden, my last minute garden, my what I call my vineyard garden. I call it my vineyard garden because there's a vineyard out there, but this is just a little garden plot that I had a few years ago. We grew some garlic here, and then we didn't do anything with it for a couple of years, and so I've made a couple of videos on this, and I decided to resurrect it and put in some asparagus and put in some extra tomatoes, and then I kind of went overboard and put in some pumpkins and some green beans. And now we are at the beginning of July, and I want to show you where we are. This was planted just before the beginning of June, so it's a little over a month old. Let's take a look. It's very impromptu. We have deer fencing, deer netting around. So far, we just keep our fingers crossed about that. I have to be totally honest with you. I don't tend this garden the way that I tend my main gardens. To me, this is like an adjunct. This is like a little extra because I had the plants, because I had the seeds, because I had the space, and because I wanted to grow asparagus. And then, you know, how things go with gardening, you kind of just can't stop. And I know, it's a compulsion. Those of you who watch me and you follow me and you garden, you know what I mean. At any rate, so given that I'm not really tending this, I'm not doing anything special to the plants, I finally got out here yesterday and did some weeding. I have some more to do because it's wild and woolly out here. I want to show you how things are going and what's happening with my plants. Let's do a little broad survey. You can see I've got the asparagus growing on the outer bed there. There's sunflowers at the far end. The tomato patch is here. These are indeterminate tomatoes. It's got some borage in the foreground, a few green beans, a few climbing lima beans here on this pole and that pole, and month-old pumpkin plants. So the first thing I have to say is the month-old pumpkin plants that were planted by direct seed are going like gangbusters. They are just growing every single day. Now, I have come out here only once, this was a couple of days ago, to check for, squash eggs and squash bug eggs and any sign of the squash vine borer. And I'm not going to say it's a done deal, but, they're looking pretty good. Here's a row of sunflowers. These are small sunflowers that will grow to be about 3 feet high. There are two different kinds of pumpkins in here. There are the tan cheese pumpkin. Then this one I think is a Seminole, and that one's the tan cheese pumpkin there. These are additional sunflowers that will grow taller, Inca ones, I think. I have some Mexican sunflowers here, and I have some pole lima beans. I didn't get the germination on the beans that I was really expecting, but I'll have a few pole limas coming up here. Now, my regular lima beans I had to plant twice, and I'm going to say that I did not have fantastic germination on everything. You can see that I have some growing. I planted my first group and they got washed out, I think, and then I planted my second group and they got washed out. What you're seeing here is chickweed. I pulled a lot of it a couple of days ago, and what you're seeing right here is thistle, which I've really got to come out and eradicate because it's all over the place. So my asparagus seem to be significantly happier since I weeded and mulched, and they are growing really, really well. So I'm hopeful that in another year or two, we will be able to harvest these fronds and get asparagus. I've got tall sunflowers who are growing here. This is on the north end, and another mammoth sunflower here, and some Inca sunflowers here, which come in multiple colors and have multiple blooms. So all in all, I'm pretty happy with what I'm doing here. The tomatoes, I have not done my normal tomato treatments. I have a couple. These went in very late. These went in about the very end of May, and they were very scrawny, beat up plants, but they seem to be doing okay. I tied them up. We've got some fruit set, and we will see what happens with them. I have no idea exactly which kinds they are because I didn't label them. I just wanted to get them in the ground. I have a couple basil plants here. I need to do some more weeding, like here's one I missed, of grass. And I have these darn thistles that I've got to come in with some gloves and get out. I have a few peppers growing. This is a bell pepper here, a Charleston bell, I think, or maybe a Marconi there. So I'm looking forward to getting a later crop of tomatoes if these grow well and don't get beaten up. Also planted a couple of marigolds here and there. One good innovation is I have had a delivery of hay. So when the fall comes, I'll be able to cover this entire garden with hay that will sit there for the winter time. Frankly, I was a little bit curious about what would happen if I planted a garden and didn't pay quite as much attention. I pay some attention to it. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to invest this energy into doing this and just have it go. But I'm not babying it the way that I baby my other gardens. Now, my other gardens are planted also much more densely. So I'm going to say that so far things are looking pretty good. For a month of growth and an afterthought garden, this is doing pretty well. Stay tuned. I'll keep giving you updates. We'll have a little mini celebration when we harvest our first things, hopefully out of here. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye. I do have to get in here and get this chickweed out. Chickweed is hard to get out, and I'm really not looking forward to removing these thistles, but I got to do it.